Fukushima nuclear plant seem to be fighting a losing battle. Fires, explosion, and radiation leaks have forced workers to try and contain the breakdown of the plant as best they can. But there are already indications that there will be a toll on human health, and the problem isn't even contained yet. Joining me this morning is UMass Lowell Dr. Gil Brown, and he is also the coordinator of the school's nuclear engineering program. Thanks for being here this morning. First, let's talk about this very, very simply. Why can't the people who work at this plant just unplug it, hit an emergency button, and have everything stop?
Well, first of all, they hit the emergency button and everything did stop. The reactor had been operating. An earthquake, actually bigger than the one the plant was designed for, came and the plant shut down. But with nuclear, when you shut off the reactor, you still have the fuel, which is heating up due to the radioactivity in the fuel.
And heating up to like 3,000 degrees or something like that,
Well,
right?
it's not at 3,000 degrees, but it can get there. But the amount of energy that's now being produced, the amount of power that's being produced, is probably down to a couple of % of what it was at full power.
Okay.
And the challenge is, even at a couple of %, you still have to cool that heat. It's down to probably under 10 megawatts. And they can do that simply by the way they're doing it now, bleed and feed. Ideally, you'd like to have electricity on the plant site so that you can have pumps circulating water in and out. The tsunami wiped out their ability to have electricity and pumps in the routine way of cooling the plant.
So now they've gone from clear water to salt water. I know that they want to even, maybe hit it from above with helicopters and put boric acid on it. Will their attempts eventually be successful, or is this really a losing battle?
I don't know if it's a losing battle. The battle now, or what we're trying to accomplish, is keeping the radioactivity intact in the containment structures that are there. There are multiple layers to the release, multiple barriers to the release of radioactivity that hurts people. Right now, they are containing all of the fuel. Now, there's been fuel damage. The fuel, understand, is the source of radioactivity. If the fuel wasn't damaged, then everything would be fine. If there's a pressure vessel, there's containment structures, and all of these words you've been hearing about are variously stressed in what they're trying to do. Mm-hmm. But basically, conceptually, it's not that hard. They're just trying to keep water in the pot. If you have water in there, then the fuel can be cooled by the water. There's steam produced. They vent the steam. That's what we're seeing on TV. That's the source of the radioactivity that comes out in puffs. But from what I understand, even though they've been relieving the pressure and radioactivity's coming out, there have really been no dangerous amounts of radioactivity to the public.
And the reason that you say that is because I know that I believe I know that the radioactivity is measured in units called millisieverts. Is that what it is?
I smile because a lot of us still say rems. It's the old unit, millirems. But
you are far more knowledgeable than I. But I will ask this: the amount that's been released is at a level that is what is either legally acceptable or not at a point that will instantly kill you, instantly necessarily make you feel nauseous.
Way, way, way below what you just described.
Okay.
And the levels that they're talking about outside the plant. Inside the plant, the
Different
doses
story.
are very high. It's measurable. You can work in those environments, but you have to work quickly and not stay in the zone, mm-hmm. For a prescribed amount of time. So they're able to do certain things, but it's under stressful conditions for the workers. Outside the plant, the public, I think, have not been exposed to dangerous radiation.
When it comes to, and maybe that answers my last question, but when it comes to us in the U.S., is there a risk that this radioactivity could come to our shores in California, Oregon, that sort of thing, and affect the health of Americans?
To me, it seems incredible that what's happening there is going to affect us here.
So you don't think it's possible?
I don't think so. And, as an example, the Chernobyl accident, which was much worse. Now, this is pretty bad, mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong, but the Chernobyl accident was fundamentally different. There was a big graphite fire. There's no graphite in this place. All the radioactivity got spewed up into the air, got carried over, and we didn't get anywhere near the levels of radiation. Yes, you can measure it, but we didn't get anywhere near the levels that you would want to do anything about.
Well, certainly reassuring information for us,
Yeah.
Professor. Thank you so much for coming in and talking to us about it this morning, and I know we're going to stay on top of this. We'll be back in just a moment after the break.